on in. Come on in. Come on in. Not come on in. Not come. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm weird. Whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video, right?
Hey, everybody. What's going on? I'm back for another Now That We're Grown review, you guys. We are talking about disappearing ex today, and I feel like this is so befitting. I also listened a little bit to an abridged version of the audiobook by Terry McMillan, and I feel like I have a better understanding of the characters and what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And honestly, the guy who narrated sounded a lot like Wesley Snipes. It was really kind of weird. And I was like, is this Wesley Snipes narrating this shit? It was not. But either way, you guys, hi, I'm back. Okay. So, disappearing ex. Girl, 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 girl. This is one of the books slash movies that Terry McMillan wrote. Terry McMillan really loved to promote the idea of women dating down. Black women specifically. Like, I feel like How Stella Got a Groove Back is another one. Like, that is, a woman dating a man that isn't making as much money as her, isn't as focused as her, isn't as disciplined as her. And still, we have a whole romantic story about great dick, terrible arguments, and the happily ever after where this woman's struggle love finally gets her to this man acting like an adult and doing what he said he would do. That's what this is, okay? Just to start y'all off. So, movies like this, tropes like this, is the reason why we got our generation of women saying that. That. I don't want to struggle together. You can struggle alone. You can do that. Okay, over there. You can do that. And I'm going to go and get my bag. And I'm going to be good. And when I want some, I'll call you. Like, that's where we're at with it. And then you call us the boss babes and the city girls. You're mad about that, right? Like, I think that's what y'all are mad about. Y'all are mad that our generation isn't eating this shit up anymore because this is what we were raised on. We were raised on this concept and stories like this. And then it continued into the Tyler Perry era of receiving any old man. Because Betty told us having a piece of man is better than having no man at all. She was going to take what she had and was working with, you know what I'm saying? And there's an era that, listen, there's a part of that is true, right? There is a part of it where if you pick the right person, times can be hard and you can still, help each other grow and get to a place together. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you grew up watching shit like The Cosby Show. Two people that went to college together, that went to school while they were together, and both people accomplished everything. Like, we were taught that if we just worked at it, everybody could get what they wanted out of the situation. And what we have grown to understand is that we have been taken advantage of in the process of this. Because to me, there are more stories about women handling everything for men and the men still doing them dirty to no end. But he had good dick, girl. He had good dick. There are more stories about that than women being gold diggers. I wonder why that is. Because most people don't have gold. Oh. But let's get into the specifics of the situation. I'm glad y'all are all here. I see y'all in the comments, girl. But I just feel like Tracy McMillan, I feel like she was writing books to make herself feel better about having to lower her standards to get some good dick. Like, I would just tell y'all, this is all about good dick. That's all this is about. Girl, this is about good dick. I don't care what anybody. My mama loved this movie. This movie, mama, I'm sorry. This movie is about good dick. And the perils of which women will go to obtain it, keep it, have it, and view it as their own. But there's a line in this movie that I will never forget. I'll call a girl and tell her that the big dick ain't all it's cracked up to be. The big dick ain't even worth it. Something like that. I wrote it down in my notes. We'll get to it. But I always remembered that line from this movie. That's what I learned from this movie. When my mama was watching it a million times. I learned it don't be worth it. I don't want to struggle. I didn't want to struggle. Especially not like these struggles. Okay? Now this book was in the 80s. The book was in the 80s. The movie was in 1999, 2000, right? So I feel like there is an area of this that is so prevalent today, and even more so today than it was in the 80s, because now y'all really don't have an excuse. To me, y'all really don't have this, like, y'all, I'm sorry, y'all really don't have this excuse. Like, you really don't. Like, when we put things into perspective in this day and age, like, yeah, a lot of y'all are trash because nobody told y'all that y'all could be better or that you should. I feel like Disappearing Acts is teaching you about the men whose mothers beat them down. And so they don't believe they can do things because they were emotionally abused by their mothers, right? Because that's Franklin. Franklin is, working out his issues on the puss in every relationship he's in. Ain't got his shit together, didn't graduate from high school, didn't get his GED. He's a carpenter, good with his hands. Girl, in 2023, a woman would be grateful to have a nigga with good dick and carpentry skills. These niggas these days just, girl, barely that. But carpentry skills? Girl, what? Nigga, you'd be fixing everything in his house. What are you talking about? Motherfucker would love carpentry skills to go with their good dick. So I feel like on some level, she still was getting better off than the 2023 version of this, okay? The 2023 version of this ain't even doing that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't even doing that. At least the lady in this movie got some beautiful woodwork done on her fireplace. He did her floors, okay? He built a bookcase for her. Like, we can't get you niggas to put together the shit we buy on IKEA. Okay, not my husband. Let's be clear. Okay? Let's be clear. If there's anything that they're gonna do, he gonna put something together. Okay? He may not know how to just get on out there and just sand wood and shit like this man was doing for a living, but he gonna put some shit together that I order. Okay? And I'ma just stand there and watch and act like there's something I really want to do to help when I don't. Okay, but either way, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this because I'm already enjoying it. Why is y'all blowing like this outside my window? Okay, here we go. Like the video as y'all come in. Y'all know we almost to 100K. Subscribe. Like. Okay. So Zora is driving into New York City. She sees the people on the streets. She's listening to her music, okay, on her Walkman. You know what I'm saying? It's very serious. Girl, I miss my motherfucking Walkman. You heard me? Anyway, so she listening to her music. There are lovers on the street, fine-ass black men in suits, fine-ass black men playing basketball, fine-ass black men walking down the street. Okay, and then she pulls up to the apartment building. Really, it's a brownstone. It's a beautiful brownstone that has construction being done inside. Okay, her apartment is not ready yet because Franklin is carefully lacquering the floors. His Italian boss, Vinny, comes in and tells him how many times he got to tell him, you know what I'm saying? He wants it done. It doesn't got to be perfect, but get it done. Okay. Zora pulls up and Franklin tells her the floors are going to take another hour to dry, but they're going to be beautiful. And she's like, listen, I would much rather them be ready when they're supposed to. I don't really care about how beautiful they are. I'm like, girl, lies and garbage. I want the wood floors to look nice. That's just me. But either way, the mover tells her he can't wait. He was a real asshole about it. So he starts loading her stuff onto the curb. And she asks Franklin, can he help her out? And he tells her that he does not work for free. So he helps her move all of her stuff from the truck into her apartment, real muscular and strong, like all by himself. Like she was helping and stuff, but it was definitely giving, oh, is he watching? Oh, he's watching. Oh, like it was giving that, okay? And girl, this was, Wesley Snipes might have been slightly ashy, but this was the good Wesley Snipes days, girl. This is like right before black women had completely thrown him away and the IRS had gotten to him. So, this is a really good time for Wesley Snipes, girl. The body was bodying, okay? The body was bodying, okay? He was carrying things to and fro. Anyway, hold up. I lost my spot. So he helps her move in and he tells her, he asks her why she moving into this big place alone. And she says, well, one of the rooms is for her piano. She sings. So he asked her to sing. And she says she doesn't know him and she's not really in a singing mood. Okay. She's trying to move into this apartment. Y'all are late. She had to move stuff that she wasn't planning to move herself. Okay. Sis is tired. He says, well, I'm Franklin Swift and you can call me Frankie. And she asks, why would you ruin such a dignified name by calling it Frankie? And I'm just kind of like, right. Dignified. You know what I'm saying? It's the things we care about, girl. The things we care about. You know what I'm saying? He says that she will get her man to help her, he's sure, with a bookshelf and all of the other things that she needs to get built around there. And she says that she doesn't have a man. So he offers his help. And she says, well, she doesn't, really know if she should because she ain't really got no money like that. She ain't got no extra money to pay him since he don't do shit for free. And he was like, don't you know how to, accept help? You a beautiful, independent woman. And she says that she knows that he doesn't work for free. And he says that he'll help her. So she accepts the help. Right? Okay. So off rip, I'm bothered. Okay? And as a woman, tell me if I'm tripping or not. But when dudes offer help, you don't want to receive the help because it always feels like it's, if I help you, you have to do something for me in return. Anytime a man extends himself to you, it is with the expectation that he wants to fuck you. And do you know why? Men will make women feel like something is wrong with us for feeling that way. But no, sir, y'all don't do shit for people unless you want to fuck them. That's usually the way it goes. So maybe y'all should reassess being of service to people even when you're not sexually interested in them. It's kind of like being a good person. No, a lot of y'all don't really understand that. Okay? But it seems as if with most men, you only extend yourself. You're only nice. You're only courteous. You're only helpful when you want something. But not just to be that way. So excuse most of us for being defensive, feeling like this nigga offering me help because he wants something from me. Like, y'all, I've seen so many times on social media where people act like women are just being bitches or something like that. And it's like, no, y'all often just want to fuck us. And like, it's not equal. So you might as well just leave me alone. Like, no, like it's not equal. So just leave me alone. Like, go on away from me with this. Like, come on. Anyway, y'all. But she gonna accept the help because she possibly wants the dick. Okay? It is Wesley Snipes in like 99, 2000, girl. Okay? So Franklin comes back to the building to work. And Vinny, the boss, tells him that he has to take him off the books for a couple of weeks so he can't get paid if he doesn't work because he's getting paid under the table because he's not a part of the union. This is the 90s and not the 80s. In the 80s, they had, affirmative action. That shit that all of you ignorant people complain about nowadays. Oh, we should just get jobs because we're good enough. No, motherfucker, that's not how any of this works. This is a movie in the 90s letting you know that they had taken it off the books. It was on the books in the 80s to you have to have black and brown people working at construction sites of a certain amount. Okay? If it's 30% of revenue or some shit like that, it was a law back in the day, then they would have to employ black and brown people. And then they would even employ one black or brown person to stop other black and brown people from coming in. Okay? So that's what was going on in the 80s. In the 90s, they took it off the charter, so they didn't even really have to hire your fucking ass if they didn't want to. So they were giving us all of these reasons for why it was so hard for him to get his footing, and why we as black women are supposed to give all of this allowance to these racial disparages, right? But let's start off at the beginning, Franklin, when your mama told you not to quit high school and you did it anyway, and now you don't have a high school diploma. So it's hard for you to get good jobs because you don't have that. Now, the book tells us he spent a part of his time doing dope. The movie is leaving that out, okay? But there's a part of the book that says he didn't go to school. He quit school because he didn't want to do it because he was bored. He liked carpentry, but he didn't want to, do school like that. So he quit school, didn't graduate, started doing dope, got tired of doing dope, got off dope, and was trying to do the carpentry, was having a hard time finding a job. It's probably because you had large gaps in your employment history. People don't want to trust somebody that hasn't had a lot of history working on construction sites because people steal shit. Yeah. So a lot of the times it seems like you want a whole bunch of chances and shit, but at the end of the day, you don't have the space to keep making these types of, chances, taking these types of chances, making these types of sacrifices. As a young black man, you shouldn't have thought that you could not get a high school diploma and that later on in life you were going to be okay. That was insane for you to even think that. I don't know what was going on in your mind, but to me, that was the beginning of dumb shit. That right there was the beginning of complete, utter dumb shit. So that's the first mistake he made. Okay, so now we got him trying to work for Vinny paying him under the table, him not being a part of a union. All of these are things that he could go and do, but for some reason he wasn't doing them. And then we would act like there are all these roadblocks when really it's people that are lazy, lackadaisical, scared of failing so they don't try. And every time somebody suggests something, they got a reason and an explanation for why they not doing it. And they gonna do it in their own time when they ready and all of this type of shit. It's like, so everybody's supposed to be waiting forever for you to get your shit together? Oh, okay. Child, y'all can do that if y'all want to, but this is why certain people are just for P. Okay? So yeah, Franklin is out of a job until Vinny calls him again. Okay? Vinny swears he's gonna take care of him. Now Zora, on the other hand, and this is what we're talking about, right? So you got a dream. You got a dream. You got something you care about so much, but you got to pay your bills. You got to take care of yourself. What does Zora do? Zora wants to sing. Zora wants to cut an album. She moved to Brooklyn so that she would get a cheaper apartment so she would be able to pay for her studio time and pay for her piano and all of that, right? Practices every day. Zora's a choir teacher at school so she can make money to help her get a living while becoming a singer. So first of all, Franklin, the only thing you want to do is carpentry. You don't want to do anything else to make sure you have money. And then you walk around exasperated. And that's a part of the problem. A part of the problem is people that feel like because I don't want to do something, I don't have to. So I'm just going to struggle instead of doing something to help me get by in the meantime. Like that, to me, that's a problem right there. That's why I told y'all the other day, when I first, had this whole situation, I was like, girl, I will go and work at Walmart before I lose my house. before I can't afford to pay this mortgage. Okay. And I meant that shit. Thank God and thank y'all that I have not had to do that. Okay. But at the end of the day, like, I was always willing to do whatever. That's why I went and worked as a receptionist at my friend's salon for a little while, because I needed to make sure I was getting a little extra something to just make me feel stable, because it was scary to just step out and do YouTube by itself and depend on this solely when it can be snatched from you. Okay. But that's why I created my website, so I can have a little bit more stability. Thank you, website people. Okay? Thank you, website people. Shout out to y'all. Thank you, Patreon people. Shout out to y'all. Thank you, YouTube members. Shout out to y'all. Okay? But you know, my website gives me a little bit more stability, thank God. But you got to be able to get out there and get it at the same time as focusing on the dream. Like, you can't think that all you can do is focus on the dream. And so that's the thing that I see a lot. We looking at a couple, right? But we also looking at men versus women in a lot of these situations when y'all want to talk about accountability and who's responsible and all of this shit. Like, this is what we see most of the time. We see men taking all of these chances or sitting on their fucking elbows, not doing what they supposed to be doing, being lazy, okay, being stuck. And then we see women trying to get it by any means necessary. Yeah, I want to be a singer, but I still got to eat, so I'm going to go get a job as a teacher. Like, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I don't know. Okay, listen. But it's the perfect example of the shit that she's moving to get a cheaper apartment. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the type of shit that we've seen women do to accommodate and pivot and make sure they're still good. Meanwhile, Franklin got 2 kids, a wife he has not divorced from, a GED he has not gotten yet. Okay? And we're just supposed to be out here like, oh, he just needs encouragement. Like, nigga, the failing should be the encouragement. Jesus. Anyway, y'all, so Franklin goes down to the bar with another broke down black man drinking his sorrows away. It's another bad decision. Okay? You sad, so you gonna go do something that is detrimental. Okay? I get it. Everybody like to have him a drink and all of that, but at the end of the day, you should probably go try to find a job somewhere else in the time being, instead of going down to the bar waiting on Vinny to call you. Like, that's crazy. He says he's done with the track. His homeboy anyway. His homeboy said he done with the track. And then he asked Franklin for some money. So you got a gambling homeboy that you giving money to. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? Like, you don't have money to give to your kids, but you got money to give to this man so he can go gamble it away? Yeah, you can't convince me to understand it, girl. Franklin says no, but then gives it to him. Zora was waiting on him to come and help her, as he offered he would, okay? But he never showed up. So she goes to get herself something to eat, and when she's coming out of the Chinese restaurant, he's walking in. And she's like, oh, so I guess you changed your mind? And he says he got hung up. Yeah, you got hung up in the bar drinking and not coming through on something you extended yourself for. I didn't ask you to help me. You offered to help me, and then you didn't show up when you said you would because you were drinking. Hello. Someone needs help. He says he didn't know her last name, so it wasn't like he could call her. This is back in the day when you can look someone up. You don't do it. So a woman takes on the mentality of, I'm not asking you for shit. I'm going to do it for myself because I'm not going to keep being let down by you. You're not going to keep disappointing me. I can't depend on you. And then when women adopt this I'm going to just do it myself thing because men aren't doing it, everybody looks at the women like we're men in skirts. Girl, let's continue on, Iyanla. Let's continue on. Okay. Just red flags all over the place. And then the way he grabbed her food and said her food has his name written on it, property of Franklin Swift. He apologizes for the inconvenience, and now she's smiling because this movie is about good dick. So they go back to her place and she unpacks and she shares with him her mom died when she was 6. She teaches music and she moved to Brooklyn to save money for her demo. A friend is hooking her up with a producer, played by Q-Tip, named Reggie. And she owes $200 on her piano. She's trying to get her piano out of the layaway, child. She doesn't drink, but she has beer because she heard the brothers drink Heineken. And I was like, so you don't drink, but you got beer in your refrigerator and you just moved in case you meet a man because the brothers like beer? Girl, what is going on? I'm sorry, y'all. The thirst is real. That is like the definition of being thirsty for some dick. That you would go and buy beer that you don't drink. You ain't even unpacked boxes yet. And you're already buying shit for a man you don't have. Somebody help us. Somebody help us. Cause that's some black lady shit for you, bruh. Oh, no matter what, you gotta have a trap somewhere. Okay? She asked if he has any other goals in his life besides working for Vinny. And he says he wants to rehab brownstones with the city and start a private contracting business rehabbing brownstones. He wants to preserve the detail. She says that sounds great. And she's sure he's going to do well because back in the day, you give a woman a good plan that you want to do. Like sound good, sound realistic, something that can be accomplished. And watch that nigga every day find a reason not to do the shit. Every day, he gonna find an excuse for why it didn't get done today. For why it can't get done today. I can't because I gotta do this today. It's called procrastination. Like, and you know what I feel, and like now I feel like a lot of that comes from depression. A lot of that comes from black men going through things mentally and emotionally and not knowing how to deal with it. And whenever people offer help, they don't want to take it. You don't want the therapy that might help you figure out why you're procrastinating or why you're stagnant and stuck or why you may want to do things but you just can't seem to muster up the energy to do them. Like all of those things probably have something to do with your mental that you can talk to somebody about. But you don't want to do that. You would rather just keep repeating what you want to do and not doing it. Yeah. I feel like a lot of us know these niggas. Like a lot of us know these niggas. But she says that sounds great. You sell us a story in the 90s and we gonna pray and help you accomplish it, bitch. Like in the 90s, girl, in the early 2000s, y'all raised us to take these niggas tests, okay? To get them the job interviews. Bitches then did everything but got the job for the day. Like, this is with that bread, okay? Women doing everything to help men succeed because they would keep saying that they wanted to accomplish something and just could not seem to do it. But they got time to go and drink down to the bar, okay? And yes, drinking just amplifies it. Exactly. So he said he wanted to get a contractor's license. She says that she will invite him when she gets her place fixed up. And he gives her his last name so she can look him up. All right. So he flirting. She flirting. It's cute. They gonna smash at some point. We can recognize that. So Zora goes out with her homegirls, Claudette and Portia. And the waiter is bald and dark skin and nice looking. Zora's type. And she mentions, girl, but not as fine as this brother I just met the other day. His name is Franklin. And she talks about how fine he was working in her building. And Portia makes a face, working in a building. Okay? Yes, Portia. Portia is the women of the 90s. The women of the 90s that have gone to college, that have gotten good jobs, that are taking care of themselves and are genuinely not looking to be with someone that is beneath their station. Like, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. You know why? Because we grew up with James from Good Times being very angry all the time. Good dick, angry all the time. Okay, he's breaking shit. Okay, high blood pressure would have killed him if he had not died down to the factory in Mississippi. Okay? But yes, no, Portia was the mind of all of the girls that's like, girl, is giving broke. Don't do it. Okay. And broke in mindset. And this is what we be talking about when we talk about the mindset and how telling somebody they don't have to thrive for more or that they can't thrive for more makes them stagnant. It's either y'all are coddling the men or y'all are beating them down. But there's no fucking balance. And we need balance in the situation. Okay? So, where was I? Portia makes a face of disgust. She says a guy needs to be a millionaire for me to give him a chance, even though she says she's not seeing him again. And Portia says she sees the man can't afford a watch because he wasn't on time. Claudette says buying jewelry and paying rent isn't the only way a man can take care of you. And Portia says if I was a lawyer dating an investment banker, I could talk that same shit you talking to. Child, I know that's right. Portia was given she had a good job, but probably down to the bank, right? She doesn't have like the high paying job, but she got her a good regular job where she could take good care of herself. So she wants a man that has more than her. But she's talking to the woman that felt like I was going to get that for myself. And that's how I find the person that's on the same level with me. The man that you're looking for, Portia, is on Claudette's level. Claudette sought the career and therefore found the man. And a lot of us understood that to be a way of doing it too. Okay, a lot of us met our men high in college or, in our careers and stuff like that. Like, that's also a part of it that you're supposed to be seeking. Somebody that you're equally yoked with. Claudette had the best relationship out of everybody in the book and in the movie as far as I've read so far, child. And I think it's because her and her husband were equally yoked. Because they both were providing for the family. They both were of value in the situation. There was no power for control and all of this. Do their best and love each other and want to make each other feel good in the process. Like, it's really not that hard, but child. Zora says, all I know is I spent enough time with those suit and tie brothers to know that they think all they have to do is pull out their wallet and they don't have to do nothing else. Okay? Talk about it. Talk about the men that feel like just because they have a good job, they don't have to do anything else. They don't even have to have a good personality because they're God's gift. Those are the coddling brothers. The coddling brothers that did something with themselves, because there are coddling brothers that don't do shit with themselves either. But the coddling brothers that did something with themselves feels like they're God's gift, which is why they're so hard to deal with in relationships. Okay? Zora says that she was tired of that and she wanted somebody that was a little bit deeper. And Franklin is providing depth on that level, I guess, for her. But the big things, the things that would mean he was responsible and, able to take care of her and a child, which is what a woman would want in this situation, a family dynamic. He's not providing that, girl. He's not giving that, but he's giving depth of emotion, which is why she should have been fucking him with protection. This is the man you enjoy, but you don't get pregnant for until he can take care of you. Like, that's what this is. Like, and she made the mistake, like a lot of them do, of just letting these niggas free willy inside of you because it feels good. And then boo bow pow, you have a baby for a bum. It's sad. We know. But those are the breaks. I don't know what to say. Okay. Where was I in the notes? Portia hooks Zora up with Reggie, the producer, and tells her don't waste time. She needs to hurry up and jump on him because niggas be all over the place. Portia and Claudette don't really get along, and that's obvious, but girl, that's all right. We always got two different types of friends. I get not wanting that guy too, but the low budget mentality and financially ain't it, sis. It's really not. And I feel like a lot of times we do the extremes instead of trying to find the balance. The one issue that I had with Portia was that she made it seem to Zola that the producer was big time individual, but come to find out he was a low budget type. He was a low budget type trying to use one artist to sneak her into Sony. Bums are fertile. So fertile. It's so sad. It doesn't even make sense, right? It doesn't even make sense. Why are the less bummy men not as fertile? Like, what is that about? So when Zora gets home, Franklin is outside her apartment. And she asks if he's stalking her. And he says no, he was waiting on her because he wanted to see her. And she asks, what if she would have come home with someone? And he says that he would have acted like he was waiting on somebody else. She invites him upstairs and girl, let me tell you, it ain't nothing like when they do that. I've experienced that before, even in relationships with women, where outside of the relationship, it doesn't give as much. But as soon as they become intentional on having sex with you, it's like you find out why they're not good at anything else. Or maybe not that they're not good at anything else, but they can't seem to focus as much. Okay, I don't know what it is. Okay, but if you're a bum, okay, you like to procrastinate, you're fertile, you can fuck. I don't know why. I don't know why God made it that way. I don't know what type of trick that is. Okay, but I be damned if he did not mind fuck her in the process, because the moment they're making out in the refrigerator and she's taking her clothes off and he pulls back and he's like, I just want to look at you, and she goes from being bashful to turned on, and then he takes his clothes off and he likes his body. So it's like, I want you to like my body too. I like your body, but I want you to like my body too. And the energy of that, not my baby daddy, but girl, it's so sad. It's so sad. That's how you know Franklin didn't have a life. Why was he waiting for her on the stoop? He should have down a temporary agency finding a job. Listen, something, helping Pam out some type of way. Okay? Child, devil dick, demon dick. Okay? So after she tells him how she's trying to do a demo, and he said he wouldn't mess with any women until he gets his business started. He says, what's she saying? They can't do both? All he knows is he feels like he just won the lotto, and she feels like she's been hibernating and it's spring. Okay, I know that's right. Listen. That's some great ways to express how you feel after just hunching somebody, okay? He says women like her don't come around every day, but if she's looking for a man with a big bank account, he ain't it. And she says she can't hug and kiss a bank account. I said, bitch, you can't? Shit. Soldier Slim came out with a song that I feel like is perfect for this moment. I pay for it. 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 If I want it. If I want it. If I want it. If I want it. Look, I very, very seldom have to come out of the pocket for the drawers. Bitch, I'm the motherfucking Prince of the South. Bitch, I got broads. Like, I'm not even gonna do the whole thing, okay? Bend it over, but okay, listen, how much? I'm sorry, but I just kind of feel like, I know they want only men to feel like they should be the only ones chasing paper, but I don't agree. Men will always tell each other, he's like, you will lose women chasing. You'll never, they say you'll lose money chasing women, but you'll never lose women chasing money. And then they want us to believe that we should just be chasing them. And I just kind of feel like, nah, I'm going to keep chasing this money and you niggas better chase me. Okay, catch up. Okay, that's how I feel. But I feel like this was cute back in the day. And I feel like when I was in my early 20s, I felt this way. When I was in my early 20s, it didn't matter that you didn't make a lot of money. I don't make a lot of money. We're young. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sorry. In 2023, I am 35 at the end of this month. If I was not married, I would definitely not seriously date anybody that was not on my level or better financially. No. I mean, again, dick appointments. Yes. Serious relationships. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Okay, so I feel like I'm glad that I've grown past this. Okay. Um, Struggling is not fun. Especially if you don't know it, okay? If you didn't grow up struggling and then you get in your early 20s and life is hard and you working real hard for that check, like, nobody's trying to go beneath that. No, I'm sorry. Girl, what? You're not going to have me at the bus stop pregnant holding groceries like this is baby boy. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. No. So they vibe and spend more time talking than hunching. Franklin goes down to the bar and sees his homeboy. He already knows about the fine sister that Franklin is hugging up on. Homeboy gives him some money that he owes him. Okay, Franklin goes to get her piano out of layaway. Okay, there are times when you need someone. I will be by your side. Oh no, 'cause there is a light that shines special for you and me. They was playing that song during their little montage. Hey, that was the shit back in the day. So that was real sweet when he went and got her piano out the layaway, y'all. And it was the moment to let you know that he really loved her. But again, priorities. Priorities. So let's think for a second. Because a lot of people talk bad about the baby mamas and all of that. But the baby mama is over there taking care of the two kids by herself and working. You got extra money and you gave it to your new girlfriend for her piano, not to your baby mama for your two kids. Nigga, what is going on? Because when he went over there, it was like, oh, I don't have enough money to give you, so I'm going to give you this little bit. But then when you get extra, you don't give her the extra, but you're going to give it to your girlfriend because you fucking your girlfriend. And that's what we be talking about when we say y'all only feel the need to do for the women that y'all are fucking. Y'all don't feel the need to actually do right by people y'all aren't smashing anymore. A lot of the time. Child, I think all of us in the comments, all of us watching this right now can identify with this story in one way or one way or another. Because I feel like this is what raised my generation, the generation before me, the one before that. Like a lot of us were raised to feel like as Black women, we're supposed to like help get these men to the point of being successful, but they can't come to us successful. And if they do come to us successful, we better be fucking lucky. Like, thank you, Journey to Jasmine, for the super chat. Preach. Thank you, love. Okay. So she goes to Reggie's studio finally and she sings for him. And it's so funny because this is Melky from Melky Sadak and Day on falsetto, bringing back the old. There was a group that sang on a song on Love Jones. I'm calling out your name, baby. I know that I am lonely, baby. I know who, I guess I call it a Love Jones. Love Jones. I got a Love Jones. I got a Love Jones for you. Ooh. Yeah, that was a good song. I love that song on that soundtrack because I recognized the voice and looked it up. I didn't know. All those years I didn't know. But when I was making notes for it, I recognized the voice. I said, that voice sounds familiar. And I saw Michelle Negiego as the music director for the film. Love Michelle Negiego. She did some of our favorites, y'all. Y'all know she did You Made a Fool of Me. Tell me why. Okay. She also did the song when Day After Day. Was that her? That wasn't her. But she did buku soundtracks in the early 2000s for the black movies. Michelle Negiego was everything, especially as a little gay girl growing up. You know who Michelle Negiego is. I was just keeping a buck with y'all. Like, I knew who she was specifically because she was queer. But yeah. So yeah, that was, oh my God, like my high school years, girl. So moving on. So that was Melky's voice that Sanaa was imitating on the movie. But she goes to Q-Tip's studio. He's trying to charge her $2,000. And she says Portia told her that if he liked her, he would cut her a break. So he ends up charging her $500 after he hears her sing. And she's all excited when she tells Franklin about it. And he's acting like something is wrong. So she asks him if something happened at work. He says he knows he knows that she thinks he went to college, and he tells her that he dropped out of school in the 11th grade because all he could think about was getting out of his mom's house, so he didn't even get his GED. Then he says he has 2 kids and he and their mother aren't divorced yet. He's been separated for 4 years but still married. He says it's a technicality. So he dropped all of this on her at one time. Okay? She says he's been lying to her the whole time, and he says he wasn't lying. He just didn't tell her, and that it was too expensive to get the divorce. That is always the excuse. That is always the excuse. Okay? Oh, yeah, that Rushing Over. That was another one of the songs, right? Oh, my God. Because it's playing in the back of my mind, and I'm trying to remember it, but I'm going to have to go look it up because I know it's in my library. Anyway, but yeah, so you lied to her about all of these things, but you got her digmatized first. That's another tactic. Snatch your soul with the dick so that by the time you find out all of these red flags that you should be avoiding, you kind of emotionally and you know, tied in through your coochie. It's upsetting. It's so upsetting. I don't know who decided to make it this way. Okay? But the dick is known to touch your heart, and then you're just being stupid. Okay? So yeah, you find out all this information and she still decides to fuck with him. Okay? But he says that she was looking for an excuse and he gave her one and he leaves. And I felt like that was gaslighting. Like, I felt like that was gaslighting like a motherfucker. So you was lying to her by omitting the truth. You finally pour it all on her. And then when she responds, you know, feeling like, well, wow, that's not good. Like you knew it wasn't. You get mad at her and make it seem as if she was always looking for a reason to stop fucking with you. Why is that? Why do they flip it on you? Yo, that's another thing niggas are well known to do. Flip it on you. It's been flipped, okay? Now it's on you and you're being made to feel bad about your honest, true, and very entitled response to somebody lying to you. That's exactly when she should have walked away. Is she gonna do it? No. I told you, digmatized. It's already happened. It's unfortunate. So after a while, she sees him working on a building, talking about nobody's perfect, and she has her and she has her what? And she has her wants, and she wouldn't have given him the time of day if he told her first. And she says, yeah, that's true. But duh. That doesn't make it okay. That's what I'm saying. That's real manipulative for you not to tell her the truth because you knew she wouldn't give you the time of day. And then you admit it like that means it's okay. Oh my God. She can't apologize for how she reacted. And he says this is who he is. And maybe she needs a brother with a suit and tie. She says that's not what she fell in love with. She's already in love. What I told you. Dick touched her heart. She asked if he can promise her he will make the divorce happen, and she would like to meet his kids if that's all right. Then she gives him a key to her place. I said, not you giving him a key to your place. Girl, what? You just found out he lied about all that shit and you gave him a key to your place, and then he tells you he can't go half on the bills with you because your bills are a little too steep for him, and with everything he got going on, he can't help you. So that means he gonna be living at your house for free. And you like, okay. Girl, this was okay when we was 18, 19. This is okay when we was like 20. This is okay then. Because you didn't know no better. Girl, at the big age of 30, I think not. I think not. Girl, not yes, he can stay with you even though he can't stay with you. He needs to stay where he at until he can afford to at least pay half of your bills, girl. What is going on? She wanted the peen at home all the time. He accepts it and tells her, that, hold on, wait. She says, don't worry about it. She wants him with her, and he accepts and tells her she loves him too. Meets Pick Misha. Girl, it's so sad. And do you know what's crazy, though? Do you know what's crazy? In the book, it was a weight thing. They didn't put that in the movie. They made Sanaa just a regular, beautiful woman that obviously has issues. Girl, I don't know. Because she handled daddy issues. Her daddy was there. Okay? That's another thing. But you know what? I think it's a lot of times when women who do have they dads there, they also are raised to have a lot of compassion and grace for men that they really probably shouldn't have. Somebody should have taught them otherwise. Okay? But, it was a weight thing in the book, like, you know, her size and him worrying about her blowing up to be too big and her losing weight before they got together. It was a whole bunch of shit being tied to her weight. And I think in the book, it made more sense for her to be this thirsty. But looking at this woman who looks like this with all of this going for herself in, 1999, it doesn't make sense exactly. But then it kind of does, because as we've noticed, like, it doesn't matter how beautiful or successful a woman is, there is some dusty nigga that can dick her into delusion. There's always some, like, we've seen it. We've seen it all over the place, girl. Like, why do you think Mary J. Blige was with that man for so long? Like, there are so many of them. Why do you think they were with these men? It's because these men knew how to have sex, if nothing else. Deja, is it? Thank you for the super chat. We need Deliver Us from Eva next. And happy early birthday. Hoping you get this 100K by the end of the week. You're so close. Thank you. I think I will. Thank you so much for that. Also, it is my birthday month. So, if you can, thank you so much. Okay, I have to buy outfits for this vacation. So thank you so much to everybody that's been giving to my Cash App and my Venmo. Thank you. Okay, and becoming members. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Okay. So yes. Yeah, I am so excited for this trip. I don't even know where we're going, so I'm excited. So they have dinner. And his kids come over and she lets the youngest play her piano. His kids ask if he's going to marry her. Then we get the he's perfect, she's perfect montage. He's working on her place with care. She's cooking and playing music, listening to Shaka Khan. Ain't nobody loves me better, makes me happy, makes me feel this way. Ain't nobody love me better, Put your arms around me. Mm-hmm. Love so sweet and tender. We look into each other's eyes. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna stop. And I love so good we cannot measure. Nobody make me feel this way. Child, Shaka knew about digmatization. She wrote a song about it. Ain't nobody. Okay. And so then, child, after they finished fucking on the piano one night, it was real. I really wish they would have done more with the sex scenes in this movie, because I feel like we got the crust of it, but it could have been done in a way that the point really could have been like made, especially with Wesley during this time. Like, Wesley was not naked enough, he was not oiled up enough. Like, this is a time that Tyler Perry really would have came in handy. Okay. And then I'm gonna need for y'all to go and get, who did Love Jones? Was it Gina? Did Gina do Love Jones too? Who was the director on Love Jones? I need to look that up, because it was their sex scene that did it for me. Okay, yes, Theodore Witcher. Child, Theodore Witcher knew what he was doing in that sex scene, girl. Okay, because I need to feel it when I'm watching it. And I feel like they had a whole bunch of sex scenes, but the only time I was really feeling it was when that nigga slid in the bed behind her. And that's when I was like, but then it turned into something else, and I couldn't even enjoy it. So I was just like, that moment on the piano, they grazed over that, and I needed y'all to sleep in that for a second. Like, I needed for that to marinate for a second. Okay, we needed to really get the crust of the victimization, and I feel like we was seeing it take place, but we wasn't really seeing it take place. And I just feel like there could have been more effort into the sex scenes, because this movie is about good dick, as I've said many a time. Okay, so where was I? She has a seizure at night, and we find out that she has epilepsy. That's why she doesn't drink. She's had it since she was 6, and she didn't tell him because people act different. And he asked, how is he supposed to take care of her if he don't know? And she says, don't say that, because she doesn't want him to look at her like that. And this is another time where I feel like y'all are going to put it on, black women, that we don't want to be taken care of, or that we don't allow somebody to take care of us, right? But she had to have been let down numerous times in order for her to be scared to share that with the next man that she was with. So stop having conversations, Iyanla and y'all, about the way women protect themselves without talking about why they're protecting. I'm confused. We were all there, girl. The women were there too. Anyway, he assures her he ain't going nowhere. He gonna be there. Okay? Mo better blues Wesley. Oh, yes. Ooh, that was a good time. Back when black men used to wear suits everywhere. Suspenders for no reason. I loved it. It was a good time. So, y'all, Vinny kicks Franklin to the curb for his family member, and Franklin tells him that he needs something steady. Vinny says family is family, so Franklin says lose his damn number. Vinny says, look at you. You move into one of my brownstones and now you're too good for me, huh? What you gonna do? Join the union? You know they ain't too kind on the brothers. That's some bullshit, y'all. And, this is prevalent, maybe not as much now, but during that time in the 90s and the early 2000s, it was. So whenever people are online having conversations about affirmative action, I get so upset with them, because I feel like y'all act like y'all don't understand that they won't hire you if they're not legally required to. Like, you don't get it? They're supposed to only look out for their own people. That's the whole point. This system was created for them to take care of their people. That's the idea behind it. It's supposed to exclude you purposefully. So that's why laws had to be created in order for people to be able to get jobs and work. So your daddy could drive the fucking bus so you can become a DJ or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? But we want to have fucking conversations about affirmative action, and everybody acts like they don't understand why we still doing the shit. Girl, I'm sorry. Anyway, I know I conflated issues and went around, but I just kind of feel like I sometimes see those conversations on social media all the time, and people are young black people thinking that we don't need these laws to still be in place. And it's like, why do you feel like that? Like, what world do you live in where you think they're going to hire you if they don't legally have to? I don't get it. Anyway, child. Anyway. So Franklin and Zora go over to Claudette and her man's house, and they have money. So they have their record collection. They have their extensive wine collection. Ask which wine would Franklin prefer. Names a whole bunch of different wines. The types of wines, not the names of wines. And he didn't know anything about it. And Zora answers for him and says, anything white. And he felt a way about it. He's all in his feelings because he's feeling bad about being, fired. And then now he's sitting here with them and feeling bad because they don't give him an excuse with the black people shit. I'm going to tell you, as much as uppity Negroes can be annoying, don't get me wrong, poorer black people can be just as bad. When they feel resentful of not being able to afford things, they will try to degrade them. Just like he did. You know what I'm saying? He's sitting here with this fucking attitude with these people like they did something to him. Claudette says that they could play some Mary J. Blige in there every now and again because her man likes jazz. I like jazz too, y'all. I play everything, but I do like jazz playing in the background in my house. It does something for me, like energetically. It's also something really good to concentrate on, like when I'm writing or I needed to do something. Like jazz in the background really helps me. So yeah. Child, when legacy admissions goes away, so can affirmative action, which white women benefit from more than us. Child, and let's not even talk about all of the others in the country that, can't stand us but benefit off of the civil rights movement. Girl, I'm so tired. But yes, okay, so they talk about, so when Zora goes to take his toothpick, he pokes it at her because he's pissed about his job and feeling insecure in the home of these bougie black people. And they talk about how jazz music is for rich white folks. And they up there cheesing in suits. It's a bunch of bullshit. And I was just like, oh my God, I love her. I love her so much. Oh my God. No, I love her. I love her. I love her. I really want to get her album on wax. But I love Samara Joy. Oh my God. I follow her on Instagram and everything. She definitely reminds me of like Dinah Washington. That really good, like deep tone. I love her voice. Ugh. Was it Dinah Washington that had the deep tone? I think it was. I love the jazz standards. A lot of the jazz women from back in the day, Nancy Wilson, like, my dad liked that era of music a lot. So do I. White folks do love it. This is true. But I also feel like they didn't always love it. Like back in the day when jazz music was originally coming out, they definitely thought of it as Negro music and maligned it. It wasn't until recent times that they've realized how intelligent you have to be in order to produce jazz music. In order to like write and create jazz music, like it's extremely extensive. Like if you listen to some of it, it has some of the most complicated chords, especially like Miles Davis and some of my favorites. I love Thelonious Monk. I love John Coltrane, Duke Ellington. It's a lot of the older artists because my parents are older, so I grew up listening to all of the older music. So yeah, I have a good ear for it as well. So I don't really like when people do this, but I also feel like if you want to call uppity Negroes uppity, then I'll just say like intelligent. Like I feel like jazz music is usually appreciated by people that have like a certain level of intelligence in some way. And that's not to say that if you don't like jazz music, that means you're not intelligent. That's not what that means. But it does kind of have a level of like, it's a mindset thing, I feel like, with a lot of the people that I know. But also, I'm from New Orleans. Jazz is a part of our culture. It plays in the background no matter what. So you kind of like jazz growing up in New Orleans once you get to a certain age because you can appreciate instrumentation. Because we play a lot of, brass band and you hear a lot, a lot of like real live music everywhere we go out here, like in the fucking street. So we have a real appreciation for like instrumental and and just music within itself. Like the kids down here are very involved. Like in the neighborhoods during parade season, you hear the kids practicing and playing their music on the horns and all of that type of shit. When we were younger, we used to do it and practice and play in the neighborhoods after school. So like it's a lot of music in New Orleans, as y'all know. Okay. Oh my God. My best friend used to play the saxophone when we were growing up. Check out Trey Daniels. He's a saxophone. His music is fire. I will check him out. Thank you for that. I love I often listen to like the contemporary jazz stations just so I can hear like what's going on. That's how I got on Samara Joy. I was like, who the fuck is this? With this voice. Oh my God. That is unreal. She has a crazy voice, bro. It's insane. But yes, they're having this very, slight intellectual conversation about jazz music, and Franklin is being an asshole about it after he thinks that she's just upset because he has an opinion. He felt left out, and he says that she was scared for him to meet her friends fixing his clothes up, and she says, I fixed your collar and it's called love. Okay, like he says, what about the wine? You thought I didn't know the answer. She says, I didn't know the answer. She's sorry that he felt left out. He admits he got fired the day before. And she says, well, why didn't you just tell me that? And he says that she was rehearsing and he didn't want to bother her. And he wouldn't have to put up with this if he got in a union. And she tells him to do it then. He has an excuse for everything. So she agrees to cover the bills so that he can go back to school. Fuck Vinny. Run his ass out of Brooklyn. And he says, man, that's peace, babe. That's peace. Like, and this is, y'all, I hate this shit. I hate it. Because essentially, y'all, I'm going to give y'all real. When I quit my job at the news station, Lyric had been working at his job for a few years at that point. He hated that job. He hated it. Every day that he had to go to that job and come back home, he hated that damn job. And it was hard to be happy at that time because he hated that job so much. So I told him, oh, it's fucking gnats. Yeah, it's gnat season. Oh my God. I told him, I said, save 6 months worth of your portion of our shit. Okay. The mortgage, whatever. Save that. Save 6 months worth of that. Quit the job. Do something else. Find another job. The only reason that I wasn't covering all his bills. Let's be clear. You heard what I said. Save the money, then quit the job. You heard what I said? That's what he did. He saved his money. He quit the job. He, was able to kind of like relax for a little while, because he had saved his money up while he found something else. He went back to school. He moved around a lot, you know what I'm saying, until he figured something out. Now he has a job that he actually enjoys, and he also has his credentials that he got for whenever he's ready to go back to that, okay? So at the end of the day, like, there's nothing wrong with supporting your partner until they can get on their feet. There's nothing wrong with that. But the way y'all make Black women feel like they have to make all of these personal sacrifices for this type of shit, when most of these niggas aren't even worth all of that, and most of these niggas will have you doing all of that and they won't turn a profit for you. Okay? I don't like that shit. I don't like the fact that you felt like it was okay to promote to any young Black woman growing up that she should tell some grown-ass man that's older than her that she gonna cover his bills when he already living with her. Girl, what? Get this away from me. Y'all see what I'm saying? Get this away from me. Okay? No, I'm not reviewing Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Run It Back. No. But I'm going to review Love and Hip Hop Atlanta when it comes back. Okay? Yeah, no, I mean, it's not that I don't have to explain. I don't mind explaining because I feel like at the end of the day, yes, there's a part of this where you should, you know what I'm saying? Like, be helping each other at the end of the day. But people got to be worth it. And it's not just about having, what you call them? Potential. It's not just about having potential. It's about having work ethic. Do you have a job? Can you keep a job? Are you good at your job? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, she adopted a man, a whole surrogate mother. Yes. That was way too much. Way too much to ask. Way too much to ask of her. And for him to agree to that, it's just taking more from her, pouring more into his cup, taking more out of her cup. And he got a hole in the bottom of his cup. So her pouring into his cup is not really going to do anything at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, until he decides to do something for himself. So they hunch. She works on her music. Y'all know how that works. They go to visit his family. He comes from a 2-parent, stable household, y'all. Not a single family home, not a single angry mother. The mother may be angry and spoke down on him a lot, because that's what's in a book. In a book, they spoke a little bit more about how his mother was emotionally and verbally abusive, and the father was kind of a pushover and allowed for it to happen. And that's what we're seeing here. Like, they talk down on him, and that is like understandable. Like, meaning you understand him being the way he is now because of the woman that raised him. And that's why you wish people will work on their shit. You wish mom would have just figured out whatever her issue was so she can stop taking her anger out on her kid, because that's what she was doing. And the parents were still together. Yes, 2-parent household. Looked like it was middle class. Dad had a fucking sweater vest on, okay? Mom had her a nice little apron on like we was in the fucking 60s, okay? He comes from a good family. So why did he decide not to do what he was supposed to do? Girl, make it make sense. His mother is difficult, but his father is more forgiving. Franklin is aggressively nonchalant while he's there. Passive aggressive like a motherfucker. His father offers him a job. Zora says he's going back to school. His sister asks for what? He says rehabbing properties. His mom says that takes a lot of money to start a new business. He says, why are you telling me that? You think I don't know it take a lot of money to start a new business? Zora says, well, my baby's going to figure it out. And here we come with this mindset of you beating down on him when all he needed was a little uplifting. And it's like, no, because it's like, so they didn't uplift him? Really? And we do know that sometimes, like, y'all really don't be uplifting them kids like that. Y'all really be telling them they stupid because they don't get things as quickly as you want them to get it and all of that. But you dropped out of school in 11th grade coming from a 2-parent household. Why wasn't your daddy trying to strangle you? Girl, let it go. Zora finds out she's pregnant. This right here. That's what it's giving. It's giving coddling to me. Anyways, in this movie, it's giving coddling. In the book, it was giving abusive household. Okay, the way the mama, talked to him and the sister, and they both became alcoholics and all of that type. Yeah, it definitely. And then it was giving colorism as well. Like, it was him and two sisters. One sister was dark like him, and the other one was light. The one that was light had a great life. He and the dark-skinned sister had an alcohol problem, mental issues, and all kind of shit going on because the mom treated them badly because they were dark-skinned. So yeah, that was a part of the book that they did not put in the movie. But Zora finds out she's pregnant. She talks to her friends, and Claudette tells her that she has to tell Franklin. Portia says if she wants to get rid of it, she will support her because they don't have the money for a baby. He comes home trying to have sex with her, and she says she has a yeast infection. He asks who gave her that. It's like, nobody gives you yeast infections, you asshole. Anyway, he says if it's not a big deal, then why she got to go to the doctor? And she was like, I just got to take something to get rid of it. We all know that yeast infections can be cured over the counter in the 90s and in the early 2000s. So yeah, no. In the book, she had an abortion. She went and actually had the abortion. Portia went with her, and that's what he was so upset about. because he calls her a liar and says he knows her period like it's clockwork. He know that shit like the moon. I'm like, them niggas that be deep diving in your womb always know when your period is. He can't believe she wasn't going to tell him, talking all that shit about how fine he is and how, and y'all, in the movie she didn't get an abortion. In the movie she just got pregnant and didn't tell him. Okay, so there's still a baby in the movie. Okay. But she, he's drunk and telling her how, cause she cooked dinner, he left, came back drunk hours later, talking about, it's just so fucked up, talking about, oh, all that shit you was talking about, oh, the dick and all of that, oh, they love throwing at you when you didn't told them they got good dick. Like, don't throw that at me, because your stupid ass needs to hear that. Okay? I guess that's all they got. She says it's not the right time, and he asked for her not to kill his baby. He wants a family. And this pissed me off. You can't take care of the 2 kids you got, and you really think your drunk ass can leave out of here, come back in, and guilt this woman into keeping a baby? Y'all, what is going on? Why is it that men always act like women are the ones that are unemotional? I mean, that are overly emotional. But in this moment, this woman is acting off pure logic that she knows this child is going to be primarily her responsibility, and she is not equipped right now, and neither is he to help her. So why would they have a baby? That doesn't make any sense. To me, that's logic and not emotion. He coming here drunk, crying, talking about don't kill my baby and I want a family. What about Pam and the 2 kids across town? Franklin goes to another construction site, points out that he doesn't see any black or brown faces, so they better hire him before he goes down to the Daily News. The guy lets him know that the union doesn't require that they hire black and brown people anymore, so he can hire whoever the fuck he wants. Franklin tells him that his boys are mishandling the asbestos, and he offers to give him the money back if hiring him doesn't work out. So he gets hired on a union gig and turns things around, okay? And I hate the way a lot of men will do this. Make a woman feel like, I'm not going to get my shit together until I have a baby. I remember, like, before me and Larry got together, I was dating this guy. And we were into each other. We was dating for like a good 6 months. We had been friends and worked together for years prior. So we were, talking about the future and shit. And I remember having a conversation with him where he was talking about how, he hated his job. He wasn't making enough money, but he was stagnant and he didn't know what else to do. And I can remember he took a condom off on me. And so we had a conversation about that. And I was like, what if I would have got pregnant? He would have been like, he was like, oh, it probably would have forced me to do what I needed to do. I was like, why do I need to be pregnant in order for you to do what you have to do? That doesn't make any sense to me. I can remember having that conversation. And that is when I decided in 6 months, if he had not made any changes, then I had to let him go. Because I wasn't doing that stagnant shit because I had already done it in a previous relationship. So I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm moving. I'm doing shit in my life. I can't be with some nigga that's just sitting here complaining, mad because he hate his job every day. And that's how you niggas be. Y'all have these jobs that y'all hate. They not making y'all enough money. And y'all come home and y'all make y'all women pay for how unhappy y'all are. Instead of figuring it out. Instead of finding a way to be happy anyway. We just supposed to deal with you being miserable. And then when we talk to other people about it, oh, well, don't blame Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie is just a man. And he's doing the best he can. I know. That should have been a red flag for me. But that was the early 2000s. Pre-2010. And I didn't know what that meant. Like, I didn't even know what stealthing was back then. I didn't know that was considered like what it was. I knew I always felt the way about it. I feel like now it's probably how I caught HPV, but that's not the point. Okay? The point is it happened, child. And we were still in a relationship after because I didn't know how fucked up it was. I just knew I felt the way about it, and we got into an argument, and that's when I found out that, it's almost like y'all want women to get pregnant so that y'all can tie those women to y'all. And I wasn't going to let that happen. I got on birth control. I wasn't gonna let that happen. Y'all got me fucked up. I felt like niggas stayed trying to trap me. I don't know what that was about, but I definitely, I was like, am I tripping or is that nigga trying to trap me? And then I would hear later on as I was getting older that yes, niggas will try to trap you. But when I was younger, nobody thought, like when I was a teen and in my early 20s, nobody thought that men were like actively trying to trap women. Like get them pregnant so that those women would be stuck to them because they know that when a woman has a baby for you, she emotionally gets tied to you. It's harder for her to let you go and all of that type of shit. That's what it is. It's a classic narc move. Smart girl. Listen, when I tell you, like, not even just him, it was somebody else that tried to do that shit to me too, tried to get me pregnant. I was like, we're not doing this. I heard an older black woman say that men who aren't where they want to be in life aren't pleasant to be around and will take their financial woes out on you. Yes, they will. My ex-husband poked holes in condoms, begged me to marry him, then cheated and became abusive and left. I was 19. Child, that's enough to make you want to stab somebody. I dated a guy like that, finally broke up with after a while back in the day. I can't be in this relationship and I'm a mom, girlfriend with no tax break. I'm not. Wait, what? That was a lot, but I feel you. I feel you. Okay. Predatory personalities can spot good energy. They want to possess it and break it down. Basically, girl, why the same thing happened to me? It is so disgusting. Me too, Bonnie. My ex tried to trap me with a baby, told me I didn't really love him if I didn't know. Crazy. I've had 4 fools try to get me pregnant. I stay on birth control. It's crazy, right? Like, what is wrong with y'all? Y'all don't even like these kids. Why y'all keep trying to get people pregnant? Y'all don't even want to take care of the kids y'all got. Make it make sense, Jesus. Make it make sense. Oh my God. So Franklin got the job, right? Zora's producer Reggie finds out she's pregnant and flips out on her and says that she has to pay him, and if she cancels one time that he's gonna make her pay all of it back and he's not gonna work with her again and he's not bringing her into Sony. And it put a lot of pressure on her, and I honestly felt like she should have stopped working with Reggie then. Like, because to me, as a person, this woman is pregnant, yes, but she can still do her job. What you should not do is stress her out and tell her that if she is ever sick because a baby is growing in her womb, that you're going to penalize her for it, especially when you're not really offering much anyway. Like, you're offering something, but it's not, it's not solidified. It's not, a deal. It's not 100% going to happen. So I felt like that was so fucked up that he did that to her. And it just reminds me how y'all do women. Like how y'all treat women when they do exactly what women's bodies do, get pregnant. Then all of a sudden she's not dependable and you can throw her away like a piece of trash. That was some sick ass shit. He stressed that lady out. That was sick as shit. So Franklin is being harassed by the racists on the job that are mad that he's there. And the boss tells him that he wants to continue to work with him because Franklin does good work, but he's telling him to stay out of trouble. So basically to ignore people disrespecting him. I'm like, so you're not going to correct the disrespect, but tell me that I should continue to just deal with it. And so do you think that black women don't deal with that on the job? Child, every story a black man has about what they've dealt with on the job, I've dealt with. So and then I have the sexual harassment shit to add to it. So yeah, I just kind of feel like y'all can miss me with y'all excuses. I don't want to hear your excuses. If I'm doing the same thing, I don't want to hear that. Life is hard for me too. This sucks for me too. I don't want to hear that. Okay? Anyway, the pregnancy was also kicking her ass, okay? So Franklin came home wanting to celebrate the union job, but she wasn't feeling good. Franklin is being harassed by, I told y'all about him being harassed. Zora is getting ready for her demo party, and Franklin is worrying about how fat her ass is. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to have sex with her, I guess, while she's worrying about her work. That's another thing when dudes be like overly interested in you in a sexual manner, because it's like, yeah, you like that energy, but there's a time and a place, and it can seem like a hole they're trying to fill, and that can be extremely exhausting. Like, I can't just be, it has to be a situation where you're trying to have sex with me, right? Okay. So she says her homegirls are planning to get together after the demo party. And he says, how do you know I didn't have anything planned? She says he didn't say anything. He says, that's the plan. Do a demo and cut a record and off to Hollywood. Leave me behind, huh? And I'm like, what is this about? So are you that insecure that instead of championing her and helping her get to where she's trying to go, you're going to try to make her diminish herself to make you feel better? And that's what we talking about. The lady ain't even went nowhere yet, and he's already drilling it in her mind, manipulating her into feeling bad for being successful because he feels bad about not being as successful. Girl, this movie is perfect for all of the all of the shit we be talking about, girl. Did Terry McMillan put all of the shit in a movie? They tried to make it real cute in a book, but the movie is giving more realistic to where we at with it right now. Okay? Okay. Anyway, so she says we'll cross that bridge when we get there. He says we can cross it now. She asked for him to let her concentrate on the song, and he says that she got her priorities. Well, at least she got her priorities straight. Her demo, her girls, then down the line, him. And I'm like, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Ain't that some shit when they be mad at you for putting you first? Been putting themselves first the whole time. Mad at you because you put you first. Ain't that some shit? He says, what about what he has going on? It will probably bore her. She says that she's sorry today is important to her and she can't cater to his every need. He says most women would be happy to have a man. She says, I'm not like the rest of these desperate. He says, desperate what? At least they know how to keep their man happy. I'm like, child, Martell Holtz. At least they know how. Oh yeah, that's another trick. Make women compete or feel like there's some woman out here trying to take you from her, so she needs to try harder to keep you. That's also a trick bag. That's why I don't like when women fight each other over dick, because essentially I feel like that was always used to kind of keep us down. It's a divide and conquer mindset. Men don't want women to join together and be strong, because if they do, it'll require more from men. When women come together and start to see themselves clearly, they require more. Everybody's standards have been upped. The men don't like that, so they like to create dissension amongst women. They don't like you to have your clique of girlfriends. They want to always keep you in some type of, oh, your girl really like me and all of that type of shit. Niggas do that type of stuff all the time. There might be girls that are like that, but a lot of times men will create those issues so that they can isolate the girl, because if the girl doesn't have her homegirls around her, then she's not being told that she deserves better. So he goes to the bar and runs into an old faithful who says that, he disappeared on her. And she asks where the girl at? And he says she working. She asks what he's going to do with himself this evening, while Zora is in the studio working on her demo. Her homegirls are there, though. You somewhere getting drunk, having this girl who know what your dick feel like rub her titties on you, drunkenly so. And Zora is working on her demo. Her homegirls are there with her. So it looks like you mad about her putting her homegirls first, but her homegirls put her first. Her homegirls came through when they were supposed to. Where are you? Down to the bar. Okay. All right then, Franklin. But at last, he doesn't smash. He puts her in a taxi and goes to the studio with flowers. Portia says, long day moving bricks, huh? Reggie was happy with what he heard, so he's going to get her back into Sony to finish the demo. Oh, thank God, Reggie. Bitch ass nigga. Franklin goes to work and is drinking a beer on his lunch just like the rest of the white boys and ends up accidentally falling off a ladder. And when he fell off the ladder, he was trying to get workman's comp. Well, when you do workman's comp, they have to drug test you for alcohol and for anything else in your system. And you could possibly get fired for that. So when they tested him and found the alcohol in his system, he got fired. And this is what we're talking about. You have a kid on the way. You have 2 kids that you're barely taking care of. You're living with this woman. You're not really paying any bills like that. And you think that you can drink on the job like the white boys? You mean the ones that didn't have to blackmail the boss into getting a job? You think you can drink on the job like they can? Now you fired with a baby on the way. Because you thought it was cute to drink a beer on your lunch break. Oh, child, they make my nerves bad. You at least gotta have fake pee on you. God, you plan for these things. Child, listen. When I tell you, used to keep, listen. We not failing no drug tests. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with Franklin. But we ain't failing no drug test, child. We ain't failing no types of tests, bitch. When it comes to the urine. I don't know what Franklin had going on. But everybody I know passing drug tests, bro. Everybody I know. Okay? And it don't matter what they into. That don't even make no damn sense. Anyway, so she asked if they can use the money he's been saving for his divorce. And he's only saved $120 towards the divorce. He's got rent, 2 kids, and Pam. Speaking of Pam, he goes to see her and the kids. Pam just coming in from work. Now, in the book, they make it seem like she's some overweight welfare queen or some shit like that. But they kept it realistic because in real life, Pam is working with 2 kids. Like, with 2 boy children in the projects, Pam is working trying to get the kids out the projects, girl. Okay? She came in there with her scrubs on. And he says that he lost his job, so he doesn't have any money for her. And says that it wasn't his fault. It was your fault. He says when he has it, he gives it to her. She says that she can't do this by herself anymore. She really can't. She says, you think I can afford to take a few months off here and there the way he does when Vinny doesn't give him work? Okay? Alcohol is a blow test. Shit. On our jobs, they piss test you for everything. But no blow tests. Okay? But you know, that was back in the day when I had those types of problems. I don't have those types of problems anymore, and I never plan to again. Okay? Like, girl, we gonna work wherever they gonna leave me the hell alone. Like, I need to survive. Leave me alone. Listen, it's gonna be one of the other sis. Okay, it's gonna be one of the other sis. I don't drink on the job. That's weird. But you're not gonna tell me what to do the night before. You see what I'm saying? Y'all see what I'm saying, right? Okay, ain't nobody drinking on the job, but that's crazy. Like, I don't think I ever did that. That's crazy. You drink when you get off, like a normal adult. You know what I'm saying? But he says it wasn't his fault. He says when he has it, he gives. She says she can't do this by herself anymore. He says it's always about money with her. What else is it supposed to be about? Please tell me, what else are we supposed to talk about as it pertains to these kids? She says she never took him to court and never got a thank you for that. And that's another thing. These women be struggling, trying so hard to be good. Don't put your fuck ass on child support. And you gonna talk about it's always money? What else do you think I need in my life right now? Ciao. She asks how his little girlfriend feels about all of this. Tyree says he's about to have a little baby sister. Does she know he can't take care of the ones he got? He don't say nothing. So she says, well, have her call me. I'll tell her that the big dick ain't worth all the stress. Line stuck with me. My whole life, child. Okay? Yes. Okay, listen. Okay. Portia is asking when the ring is coming. Claudette says if she's having this baby without the marriage license, she doesn't have to lie about it. I like Claudette. She's realistic. Zora says this wasn't the dream. She wanted a husband, not a baby daddy. And that's your fault because you should have been on birth control, Zora. You should have been on birth control, Zora. Why were you not on birth control, Zora, when you was letting him be in you all freely? Like, make it make sense for me. That was your fault. To be honest, like, you sitting up there talking about that's not what you had planned. What sister told y'all? Go down to the drugstore. Don't come around here with no big belly talking about you ain't know what you was supposed to do. Oh, Claudette says that he has to have a reason. But the girls have her back regardless. All right? Franklin is late getting home to take Zora to see Shaka Khan for her birthday. And when they get there, a scalper offers them tickets on the 7th row. And Franklin tells her do what she wants, but he's being passive aggressive. She wants to get the closer tickets. They haven't been out in months. He's pissed off. So he rips up the tickets and throws them in her face because he feels like she shitted on his effort. Now, Iyanla and the rest of them will tell you that she was wrong for this, but I personally don't feel that way. I feel like you're insecure no matter what. You bought tickets, yes, great, but she just got better tickets from a scalper. Go inside, have a good time, go home, have sex, get over it. It's not like this lady has not been spending money on you all over the place by paying your bills. Asking her daddy for money. Like, so what that your tickets didn't get used? So what, nigga? Like, I get it. Oh, I don't have money like that, and I bought the tickets. But she had been spending all kind of money on you. You ain't paying for shit at the house. So if Claudette gave her some money for her birthday and she wanted to use that to up the ante with the tickets, have a good time, enjoy Shaka Khan, fuck your old lady, and go to sleep. But ripping it up and running home so you can sleep on the kitchen table with your bottle? What? Like, crazy. That's why you can't settle. And it was her fucking birthday. And this how he acting. Because she wanted to get tickets that was closer to the stage. So she can see Shaka Khan. And this is when Shaka Khan was still doing effortlessly perfect, shows and shit. Drugs or not. So she gets home. Well, first of all, he told her fuck her and fuck her birthday. Okay? When she gets home, he apologizes. Then she has the baby. Her dad tells Franklin that he has 3 kids and it's time for him to man up. The fact that niggas gotta come and tell you that is crazy. He says the baby has to get darker for him to believe it's his, jokingly. Okay, but that was something that a lot of black people do. Oh, we gonna see how dark the baby gonna be. Child, I wish y'all stopped that. I swear, oh God. She thanks him for making her a mother. Thank you for this. Thank you for impregnating me and not being able to take care of it. I'm so appreciative of this. We see him holding the baby and talking about building a foundation for the baby. So we can see that he wants these things, right? Zora is still working on her album and taking care of the baby. And Franklin is trying to get work, but it isn't going well. And this is for me when I'm like, you have a baby here now. If you can't get work in construction, you need to go and get another job doing something else. Like, nigga, you need to go and work at the grocery store. You need to go find a job down to the bodega. Maybe you can, you know what I'm saying? Like, is there not somewhere else you can find work? Like, momentary, you can't go be a janitor, clean some buildings. You know what I'm saying? Or better yet, why you couldn't go teach shop to the kids? You know, like something besides just sitting at home feeling sorry for yourself. And she come home, you done forgot to go get the baby. Then the baby need changing. You ain't washed the dish in the fucking house. And that's another thing. Drive a taxi, something. And that's another thing, y'all. That's another thing. You don't have a job. You're not bringing in any income. Then you forget to go get the baby from daycare. If you're not working, why is the baby in fucking daycare? Somebody tell me. And that's the problem. You feeling like because you're a man, you shouldn't be doing certain things, when at the end of the day, you have no value if you are not doing anything. You have no value if you're not doing anything. I'm sorry. In this situation, you laying on the sofa, you can't change the baby diaper, you can't wash no dishes, and you can't get a job, you're doing too much. You need to get the fuck out. So inconsiderate. So inconsiderate. Oh my God, just feeling sorry for yourself. Woe is me. I can't find a job. So I'm just going to let my old lady do it all. Right? Because that's better. Child. And she's just going to wash the dish. She's going to come take the baby. She's going to do the shit. He says he needs a minute to clear his head. Ain't shit he can do about not getting a job. She says it's time to reevaluate. He tells her nobody asking her to stop doing music. She says reevaluate, not quit. You're not listening. Then he says Reg called. He forgot to tell her. Reg tells her he can't do nothing else for her, and he's sitting on her tracks until she can pay him for them. So Reggie ain't shit neither. She goes home after she finished talking to him. And here's Franklin playing music and building something. So she just keeps walking. Later, Franklin is trying to talk and she's ignoring him on the phone with Portia. He keeps asking if they can talk and she's ignoring him until he rips the phone cord out of the wall. He says that she's babbling with her girlfriends and that's not more important than him. He's not on her list of priorities. She says Reg just dropped her and he's holding her demo for ransom. He says, what about what he wants? She needs to be more supportive. She says she's been carrying him. He says, so you've been carrying me? It seems like everything around here can get more attention from you than me. So what you need for me? So what you need me for? She says, I don't know, Franklin. So he gets drunk, plays records, okay? And I think she went and got in a bed. Okay, so he plays Giving Up, y'all. And this is the Donny Hathaway version. Y'all, this conversation was so annoying to me. Because how the fuck you gonna sit up here and live off this lady, and when she's having a moment because her shit didn't fall through, you asking her to give you attention. Where is the reciprocity? So giving up. Giving up. It's so hard to do when you really love someone. Giving up. Listen, so hard to do, and I tried, but it just ain't no use. When my light of hope is burning dim. I hate it because I be hearing both songs in my head, so I kind of trying to remember the Donny Hathaway version. But in my heart I prayed it, that my love and faith in the girl. Listen, I love that song though, y'all. Would I bring her happiness? Yeah, giving up. But y'all know I just finished doing Sparkle, so I'm going back and forth in my head, y'all. I'm sorry. But the relationship is one-sided. But y'all, this is the part for me when he slides in the bed with her, and child, that side, something about that side position, Jesus. Okay, get her in that side position, and that shit was feeling good, and she went and grabbed that blanket, but then she was like, no, this is not good enough, this is not good enough, and she was like, stop, and she pushed him off of her. You're not about to dickmatize me again, because that's what he was going to do. You're going to fuck up, you're going to fuck her and make her feel good, and she going to forget about everything. And then we back to square one, right? So she said no. She said, I'm leaving, but when I come back, I want you gone. He proceeds to tear her apartment the fuck up. The only thing he didn't ruin was her piano. But knocked everything else. If he built it, he pulled it down. He broke it. Broke her CDs. All kind of shit. I was like, that is so fucked up. Have you noticed that song Giving Up has been in 3 movies, including this one that you have reviewed? Yes. Yes, I have. Yes, I have, child. Cause it was in the Tyler Perry one, huh? Was it in the Tyler Perry one? I can't remember, but I know it was in Sparkle and it was in this one. Child, that song always gets me though, child. Giving up. It is. It is hard to do. Anyway, when she gets home, she sees her apartment destroyed, goes straight to the piano, and was relieved that he didn't destroy it, but she was pissed. New Year's comes in, and she's sad and alone, and she cries on her windowsill while everyone outside celebrates. And the thing I didn't like about this is that even though, yes, it's a real moment, my heart is broken, I'm alone, I'm gonna cry, it makes me feel like you want us to believe that she made the wrong decision by getting rid of him. When really, it just takes a moment and then you recalibrate. And then you can go back to taking care of yourself and not having somebody stressing you the fuck out. The problem with that is that you forget. And when you forget, you leave your door open for their asses. Okay? We see Franklin studying for his GED. So we see him getting his shit together. This is why my mama loved this movie so much. Okay? It shows when putting your work into a man actually works out for you. Okay? She sees him on the street, but walks in the opposite direction, child. It was on Why Did I Get Married? Thank you. It sure was. He watches her playing with the baby from afar. He's sending her money, but he's not there. Okay, so she could have known he was dead if it wasn't for him sending her money. He goes to his oldest 8th grade graduation, so we see him being a part of the kids' lives and shit like this. He stands outside her place while she sings to the baby. Her and the girls go out. She hears her song playing in a bar. It's the 3rd time they've heard it that day. She's writing now. So instead of singing, she's writing for artists. And that definitely makes money. Okay? So that's putting her in a better space. She tells him that she tells them that she loves them for their support. It's been 7 months. And a suit and tie brother who doesn't know who Zora Neale Hurston is comes over trying to holler at her. And she tells him that she doesn't want to waste his time. And that was one of the things that she loved about Franklin. Franklin may not have had the money and the education, but he was well read. You know, he did have, more of an extensive palette than some of the boring guys that she met with briefcases that felt like all they had to bring to the table was their wallet and pump faking. Okay. It's so funny how that was also like a trope back in the day, that blue collar men might have had more swag or could be a little bit more digmatizing, whereas men that worked briefcase jobs were considered lame or something like that. And now we wish we could find a briefcase nigga and we can't find them nowhere. Thank you, 90s. Y'all ruined a whole set of professional black men that we really needed to persist. But y'all made it seem like something was wrong with them. Okay, now we don't even see them no more. Child, anyway. Franklin shows up to see his son finally. He's been sending checks, so he's been helping, but she hasn't seen him in a while. She tells him that he could have called instead of just coming over. He says he's taking his contractor's license and he was hoping that she would wish him luck. And she says, I thought you needed your GED. And he says, you do. And she says, okay, I always knew you had it in you. Okay, proud of him. He asked about the album and she says she's writing now. She says, look at them now that they aren't together and they finally got their shit together. And sometimes it's like that because in real life, men only respond to having what they want and what they like taken away from them when they don't do what they're supposed to do. So the idea that the coddling and the helping him was supposed to help him, but it didn't. It really was removing herself from him that made him feel like he needed to get his shit together. That's the lesson. If there's anything to learn from Disappearing Acts, is learn to disappear on these niggas until they start acting right. Okay? Don't let them disappear on you. Disappear on them. Okay? They're not acting right. Whoosh, I'm gone, bitch. Like the wind. He finally got that divorce as well. She says she guessed they lost themselves at some point and just stopped moving. He says he couldn't come until he could lift his head up as a man, and now he can say he's sorry. She says that she's sorry too. He tells her the love was always real, even if the time, wasn't right as far as she's concerned. It was still right for him because, the love was real. She follows him out and tells him that she never beat him in Scrabble. So he comes back upstairs and they play Scrabble and he spends time with the baby. And y'all, if y'all knew how much my mom and my daddy played damn Scrabble. Child, the difference is, I feel like my mom had, my mom still has like such grace for people, you know what I'm saying? Specifically for men. She sees a lot of them like my grandfather, And I'm just like, but they're not my grandfather. My grandfather was like so sweet. He's such a nice man. Like he deserved grace. My dad also was like a hard worker and kept money in the bank. So it wasn't never no struggle life like this. Okay. So it's so funny to me how, she would watch these things. It's like, but child, we ain't never seen you with no broke. Okay, love disappearing next. I ain't never seen her without a nigga with money. Okay? You cannot motivate a man who doesn't believe in himself. That's another thing. Like, he has to decide for himself. That's why it doesn't matter how much you pour into him. If he got a hole in the bottom of his cup, all of your pouring is going nowhere. Okay, that's what it is. I hate this conversation so much. Laughing my ass off. Their dynamic isn't something we should aspire to co-parent if was the end game, not Scrabble and more dick. Girl, yes, Scrabble and more dick. I told y'all this movie was about good dick. I told y'all from the beginning what this movie was about. It was about finding and securing lifelong good dick. But with a job. But I do want to reference Ebony K. Williams with this. Do y'all realize the reason why Franklin had such a hard time finding a job is because there were no black men that owned the construction companies? Shout out to Love and Marriage Huntsville, huh? But that was the whole issue that this man was having. Was the fact that there was no black ownership to help the black men in the blue collar realm work. Because the white men are only going to hire their own when they want to, or they're going to treat you badly. That's why it was so important to teach to black ownership so that you can give the blue collar black men jobs. Because the white men weren't really trying to give them jobs in the 60s, 70s, and 80s like that. In 2023, I don't feel like you can argue that point in the same manner. Because in this day and age, people just want bodies. But essentially, the problem that we're still having is there are not enough of you that are willing to work hard enough to create the foundation for those of us that are blue collar. So yeah, I still agree with Ebony K. Williams on this one. If you want to be mediocre, and that's not shade, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to work a regular job, then work a regular job. But you need to be aspiring to do more and do better within that regular job. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you have aspirations, the only thing you can do is be in entertainment or some shit. Like, why you can't have aspirations to be in construction? Why you can't have aspirations to have a plumbing business? To have, you know what I'm saying? I want the black people to have businesses so that they can hire other black people. That's what I want. That's what I grew up on. My mom owned her own business, and when my dad was done working for white people, he had his own business. I got to see both of those things take place. And ownership, whether it is a home or a business, was always the goal. Always the goal. Ownership. It's where the power lies. I don't know what they're teaching y'all, but that's where the power lies, in owning shit. Not simply employing or being employed, but owning shit. And it's not for everybody. But there are so many amazing black people that there have to be more of us that can be owners than just those of us that are. It's not enough of us. It's not enough people that own business, specifically in different enterprises that are needed. I don't know a one black grocery store, except for the one that they created somewhere not near me. Now we can't get niggas to open up and thrive in grocery stores. You know what I'm saying? It's tough. But I feel like people don't want to try to do anything to get them to like that great place when it comes to these like, blue collar jobs. Like owning them if you want to make more money. Having more of them if you want to make more money. But it's exhausting to be wanting to have more. And when we're telling y'all how that needs to happen, everybody wants to fight about it because it's too hard. Child, I guess. I don't know. Why do people who want to be mediocre simultaneously want extraordinary life and love stories? I don't know. They do, though. They really do. You know why? Because everybody thinks they can get something on sale. Everybody thinks they can somehow get more bang for their buck. And in some of this shit, no, you really got to get it out the mud. There's a deficit in the blue collar fields because boomers are dying off. The opportunity is there. Blue collar or tech, period. We want y'all to pick up these jobs. Child, only one black grocery store in Louisiana. Only one. My aspirations are outside of my work. My identity is not tied to my job. And that's real. That's absolutely real. Okay? But that's not what Iyanla meant when she asked about a bus driver. Okay? Your old ass ain't getting with no 60-year-old bus driver talking about y'all about the bill. Girl, go to hell. Movies sell them false hope. Exactly. And I feel like this one, there was a black grocery store in Marrero, but it didn't make it. Child, that's so sad. I didn't even know about it. Y'all got to do better with social media presence too. That's another thing. It's hard promotion, but you gotta hit that promotion tip hella hard for people to even find you. You know what I'm saying? It's hard like that. Yes, owning a home is a first step to building generational wealth. But y'all don't tell them because they gonna... Child, listen. This system has conditioned us black people to be subservient and depend on white supremacy. However, freedom comes from ownership. That's how I was raised, Dion. That's what I understand. So when people preach that, that's what I understand, you know what I'm saying, to be true. All this other shit, child, I don't know what y'all on, but it feel like y'all want a lot of something for nothing. Some of y'all. And it seemed like he wanted a lot of something for nothing until he couldn't do it no more. A lot of men want jobs that are flashy, i.e. entertainment and hustling. And that's stupid. That's really stupid. I'm just saying. Like, find something you like, but get this bag, bro. Stop with the bullshit. But anyway, that's all I got for y'all. That was Disappearing X. I hope y'all enjoyed this now that we're grown. The next one will be Medea's family reunion, and I'll probably get that one up to y'all on Friday. So, and the Ooh Ladies first panel will be on my channel this week. I need to make the link. So I love y'all, and I will see y'all in the next one. Okay? Have a good rest of y'all evening.